Welcome to Across Africa, our weekly roundup of stories from across the continent. I'm Georgia Calvin-Smith, and coming up, Beijing's currently the continent's biggest trading partner, and the relationship is set to deepen if Kenya moves forward with a possible contract to China's Huawei to roll out its 5G network. And WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, the wonders of social media marketing are at the heart of Lagos's Social Media Week. We hear from some of the Nigerian business people whose enterprises are going from strength to strength with a bit of online savoir faire. And many members of the French Caribbean diaspora have headed to Ivory Coast to start new lives. That has led to celebration and the creation of a Caribbean-style carnival. But first, Beijing is currently Africa's biggest trading partner, a relationship that's unlikely to change anytime soon. Despite US concerns, Kenya's biggest telecoms operators said that it would consider giving a contract to China's Huawei as it rolls out its 5G network. James Vazina has more.
It's a hand of friendship guaranteed to irk the United States. Kenya's biggest mobile network operator is turning to Huawei for 5G, as Safaricom considers giving a contract to the Chinese telecom giant, despite objection from the US government.
I don't think America is going to tell us what Kenya should or should not do. We don't have any big brother here telling us what we can and cannot do. Right. The UK and Europe are very different to Africa and what we do in Africa.
The United States have accused Chinese state security of funding Huawei, and the company has become the centerpiece of a trade war between the two countries. US officials are adamant on discouraging governments from working with the firm and want to reduce Chinese influence as a whole on the African continent.
Countries should be wary of authoritarian regimes with empty promises. They breed corruption, dependency. They don't hire the local people. They don't train. They don't lead them. They run the risk that the prosperity and sovereignty and progress that Africa so needs and desperately wants won't happen.
It's still too early to say what impact Kenya's decision will have on relations with the US, but the move could hinder talks on a free trade agreement which began earlier this month. Huawei already operates in 40 countries across the continent and is rolling out 5G in South Africa. The superfast service is expected to transform industries from healthcare to agriculture and could boost Africa's industrialization. But several challenges still lie ahead, including access to the network and the costs for users.
In Lagos, Social Media Week took place this month. Nigerian businesses are increasingly relying on online platforms and marketing. It's creating a niche that could help boost the economy and encourage diversification away from its heavy dependence on oil and gas. Our team sent us this report.
Everybody ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay.
Gina sells food via WhatsApp and Instagram. Her target customers often don't have time to cook at home because they lose hours stuck in Lagos traffic on their daily commute. Her presence on social media earns her about €300 a day.
Social media is a way for me to understand my brand. It helped me understand my brand, so I know exactly how to connect to these people, what they want, and what I should give them. Yeah.
Digital business is estimated to contribute 7 to 10% of Nigeria's GDP. Nelly belongs to a new generation of entrepreneurs who maximize online space. She organizes intensive training through 2 WhatsApp groups and has about 500 students who pay €40 each for her video tutorials on how to sell using social networks.
You don't need followers for you to make it on Instagram or for you to be an influencer on Instagram. You just need to have the right niche, the right market, the right people who understand you. And that is why, and you cannot be for everybody.
Wally Agba started his career by posting videos online. Today, he has about 2.5 million subscribers who enjoy his comedy in Yoruba.
The more we have been able to grow our fan base has given us the privilege of having the contract from some different firms that want us to pass information across to the whole world.
The world's biggest social network companies all have offices in Lagos. Nigeria is also experiencing a telecoms boom. An estimated 184 million SIM cards were activated in 2019, a sign that connectivity is increasingly important to the professional and personal lives of Nigerians.
Now, all publicity is not necessarily good publicity. Recently, photos of a dried-out Victoria Falls have been doing the rounds online, sparking fears that the cascading rivers may be the latest natural wonders to fall victim to climate change. The images only tell part of the story, though, but as James Vasner reports, damage has still been done.
It's publicity that tour operators would rather have avoided. Images of a dried-up Victoria Falls sparked panic after they were posted online over the past months. A frenzy that's only got worse when Zambian President Edgar Lungu joined in, warning of the effect of climate change on the World Heritage Site, which sits on the border of Zimbabwe. Every year, water on the Zambian side of the falls almost completely dries up. And while water levels were lower than in previous years, the damage was already done as tourists cancelled their trips to the site.
It had actually a huge negative impact because many tourists, they cancelled their trips to the Victoria Falls because they heard that the Victoria Falls is no more. They heard that the Victoria Falls is dead.
In 2019, tourism in Zambia dropped by 25%.
I laid two off at the end of December because we just can't afford to keep everybody going. As much as I didn't want to do it. And it's very difficult. You know, they've got families, they've got kids at school, they've got mouths to feed. But I had no choice, absolutely no choice.
The falls are now flowing again on their entire length, but the country is still recovering from a severe drought. A shorter rainy season has caused chaos for local farmers, and over 2 million people are in desperate need of food aid.
Now, Brits with Somali heritage are being encouraged to learn about traditional textiles. The founder of Hafsa Studios, which is just outside London, is particularly focused on involving older Somali women who may have the skills to share that they haven't had a chance to use since fleeing conflict in their homeland. Take a look.
I'm Hafsa. What do you want to do? Red? Imagine it. My name is Hafsa Yusuf. I'm a textile print designer and founder of Hafsa Studio, and I'm here today to teach a creative art workshop with the women from the community to engage them with their creativity and a way of expression. I'm from Somalia, so Somali culture we have such a vibrant, beautiful culture, and we have a rich history of textiles, art, and a lot of that after the war, a lot of that has been left behind. So we have it, so why not bring it back to the women here? We do these classes every week, so every Wednesday we have these classes. And it has been absolutely wonderful. The women really enjoy it, as you can tell in the class.
I came here tense and now I'm smiling, so I feel I don't want to go home.
It's put me in a positive mood, a little bit.
A lot of the women that I work with are elderly women from the community as well. Some have beautiful stories and, just the beautiful personal stories that they haven't been able to share. Some of the women, they used to be weavers back home. Some of them used to do textiles, all handmade, and I think also, again, with my heritage, there's just so much history, there's so much textiles, there's so much skill that I think has been untold, hasn't been seen and it's been untold. So this brings it back. So it's something very personal to the women. And as you could just tell, how they are today, it's like bringing them back to the skills that they had previously and the skills that they left behind, and just reconnecting. So it's just celebrating Somali culture through art, and really just bringing it out there.
For decades, members of the French Caribbean diaspora have headed to African countries like Ivory Coast to start new lives and explore the similarities and differences between their cultures. In Ivory Coast, exploration has led to celebration and the creation of a Caribbean-style carnival. Our team went to join in the party in Abidjan.
Delivering delicious Guyanese spinach dishes from her home, Emily has just launched her own business in Abidjan.
We do salads, fruit and vegetable juices, and Antio-Guyanese food, from where I am from.
After considering her options for a long time, she moved to Abidjan 2 years ago, attracted by the city's dynamism.
Ivory Coast is a country that is buzzing for business. There is lots going on.
Despite some of the difficulties adapting to life here, she still doesn't regret having made the leap.
Even if we have a similar culture to Africa, there are also lots of things that are tricky to deal with. As a woman, sometimes it's not always clear how to integrate and understand certain norms.
Emily is among the many successive generations of Antillians who moved to the Ivory Coast after it gained independence in 1960. Abidjan celebrates its links to the French Caribbean with an annual carnival.
It is about coming to the land of our ancestors and sharing a cultural moment. I think the carnival we do over there is truly similar to what happens here.
The carnival's founder is a pensioner from Martinique who says the event is about commemorating the shared roots of the diaspora and local Ivorians.
It is a homecoming for some French Caribbeans in Africa, and particularly in Ivory Coast, because I think lots of French Caribbeans have origins here.
However, for most of the carnival goers, the festival is before anything a great chance to party.
Well, that's it for Across Africa. Thanks for joining us, and do so again if you can. Take care.